Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Live from NCCE. We have a very special edition because we're previewing NCCE 2024, which is coming up in February. And we have with us one of the featured speakers, that is Dr. John Pauls. Dr. John Pauls is EDD, EDS, MBA. It sounds like an alphabet soup of degrees, but he knows so much. Plus, do you realize he has trained more than 10,000 teachers? Is that correct?
10,000, yeah. Thanks to NCCE, it's been a lot of learning the last couple of years. So, it's been so fun.
Yeah, so we're excited for you to talk to us about maybe a little sneak preview of what you're doing at NCCE, and then maybe some tips for first timers on how to get the most out of that conference.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me, Tammy. And it's going to be a wonderful time. And when you talk about it being in February, it freaks me out a little bit because I feel like it was just the holiday season. And now we are here at NCCE 24. So I'm going to ask everybody indulge me a little bit when it comes to tonight's message, because there's purpose to everything that I do. So I want to talk to you about how there's no place like NCCE 24. Like Tammy said, I'm going to give you a little preview, not the whole thing, because we want you to come and we want you to sit on these sessions. But we're going to give you a preview of what I want to come there and speak to you all about. But we're also going to get some perspectives. Maybe you've never attended a conference before. Maybe you are presenting for the first time at NCCE 24. We're going to talk about some of my tips and tricks and some of my perspectives. And I think Tammy may be able to join us with her perspectives as well. So tuck in. We're going to have a fun time. I hope that you all are making it to NCCE 24, because NCCE 24 is a journey. When we talk about attending things like conferences, especially when we're in the K through 12 space or higher education, we're teaching learners, conferences can be a big investment. We have to worry about, are we getting somebody to send us? Are we going to have somebody watch the students? So I don't take it lightly going to any conference, especially NCCE 24, because I know that when I go, I'm going to learn so much that I can bring back to my own schools and my own students. And so I want you to approach NCCE 24 as that journey. And you'll see throughout these slides and throughout my talking, we're going to have a little theme of the Wizard of Oz. And I want you to think about Dorothy. If you're familiar with the book or the movie, Dorothy was this little Kansas farm girl who got sucked up in a tornado, and then she got dropped off in this magical place. And she didn't really know what she was doing. She had to reach out. She had to explore. She had to push beyond her comfort level. And we're going to kind of echo Dorothy's footsteps through tonight's presentation and hopefully NCCE 24 as well. So prepare for the journey. February 14th through the 16th in Seattle. Schools are going to be dropping from all over, teachers from all over the United States. We have people coming in from elementary school, middle school, high school, higher education. It is going to be such a wealth of information and knowledge. I don't know about you, Tammy, but for me, when I attend conferences, the favorite thing for me is being able to connect with different people, different viewpoints, different stories, different perspectives. It's being able to expand out of the four walls of my classroom and kind of get a sneak peek into the classrooms of others. I learn so much from everybody else. And so being able to come together in Seattle in February is going to be so amazing. I've been looking forward to it for months, and I hope that you all are going to be there with us. And if you're not, there's still time to register. There are going to be tons of sessions. What you're seeing in front of you is just a little snippet of what is available on the website that you can go and take a look at. And I have to say, I am somebody who is I'm focused on the creativity. I love a good educational technology tool, but I also understand the value of knowledge, of theory, of literature, of research. And you can go to so many conferences around the country, and you may not always get that pedagogy side of things. You may get this is a fun tool to use, but sometimes I leave some sessions at other conferences thinking, I wish I knew why we're doing this specific tool. What does the literature say about that? And what I'm so excited about with NCCE is it is always that organization that's focused on the research, the literature, and innovation and paving forward. And so I know when I go to these sessions, it's not just going to be, let me show you this fun, fancy tool and let's play around with it, but it's going to be, let's play with this fun, fancy tool and let me tell you about how this may impact your learners or your experience as a facilitator. And so I'm very, very happy that NCC has such a great focus on that, because as educators, everything that we do, we want to back it up in the science and the science of learning. So I'm so excited. Check out all the sessions on the website because they are just so vast, so vast. In addition to the sessions, there are also going to be half-day summits at NCCE 24. And so if you are specifically interested in things like future-ready librarians, there is a half day devoted to learning and networking and experiencing other librarians across the country. I know when it comes to librarians, or for our music teachers, our physical education teachers, or our special education teachers, it can sometimes feel a little isolating in our buildings because sometimes we're the only one. And so being able to not only come to NCCE 24, but have an entire half day where I could collaborate with other librarians, if you're a librarian, that is super powerful. And NCCE is doing some fantastic things in the library space. So what a fantastic summit to attend. There's also going to be a summit on building the pipeline with CTE opportunities. So if you're interested in that conversation, check out how to register for that summit. There's an IT cybersecurity summit and a leadership summit. So if you want that more intensive learning opportunities outside of the sessions, NCCE offers that as well. So I think that's a fabulous way to really kind of expand beyond sessions into more focused collaborating and communicating. And as you said, I am so honored to be one of the featured speakers at NCCE 24. There are some amazing keynotes and other featured speakers and session speakers as well. NCCE has been such an important part of my life as an educator. NCCE as an organization has just been there for educators. And I'm so proud to be at NCCE 24 with them. And I thought I might be able to give you all a little sneak peek into what we're going to be talking about in some of my sessions. If you're going to NCCE 24, make sure to make some notes if you want to. Make sure to check out the schedule. I'm going to give you a little preview of the different things I'm going to talk about. And I think you're going to sense a theme if you haven't done so already. So on a personal level, you've seen the theme of The Wizard of Oz throughout this slide deck already. I'm a big fan of learning through storytelling. I think that when we can incorporate imagery and a thematic element and different ways to interpret instructional content, it really kind of expands the minds and makes different connections in our brains. As a learner myself, I do not do well with just written text on a piece of paper. I never have. But if we incorporate some imagery, maybe some video, some things that my brain can latch onto and make connections, I'm super successful with that. And I know how important that is for our learners. So this journey at NCCE 24, I have developed all of my sessions involving the art of storytelling. And what better to go to Seattle, which is known as the Emerald City, than to focus on The Wizard of Oz. What you're seeing in front of you is actually my own personal Wizard of Oz collection. It is, again, my favorite movie from when I was 4 years old on, and it's been such an integral part of my life. The journey of Dorothy, the journey of having courage and using your brains and finding your heart, your passion. These are all such important themes that we can apply to anything that we're doing in the field of education right now. So I thought, let's run with it when it comes to these sessions. So the very first session that I'll be offering at NCCE 24 is one that anybody can attend, no matter your background. It's a twister, 20 tools to use in your learning design. And I don't know if we mentioned this, but my current job, my field is as an instructional designer. That means that I work with teachers and we create these engaging, immersing learning experiences. And so in this session, I'm going to pull out 20 tools that I've used in my learning design processes that you may be able to take with you. And trust me, there are so many out there. Maybe it's talking about how we can use Canva to make engaging presentations and videos. Maybe I'm going to be talking about Genially to create interactive activities that your students can play like a video game in class. Maybe I will be talking about Minecraft and the power of the Minecraft Educational Library to align with your course learning objectives. I have a lot of tools and we're going to share them in this one twister of a session. come to the session, sit down, write down some of the things that I'm talking about, share what you use. If it didn't make the list of 20, it's going to be the ultimate session for you to kind of get exposure to some tools you may not have known about. My next session is Lions and Tigers and Bears AI. If you have, I don't know, if you've been present in society the last year and a half, you know that artificial intelligence is taking the world by storm. When we think about the things that artificial intelligence can do, whether it's writing text or creating images like what you see on your screen, artificial intelligence, good or bad, has opened up the ability to create really immersive learning experiences for our students. So this session is going to be devoted to how can I, as a teacher, leverage the tools that incorporate artificial intelligence responsibly, ethically, but to create really immersive storytelling experiences with our learners. A little preview, just a couple weeks ago, I was working with a professor. It was a clinical mental health counseling course. And this professor had some case studies that students would read and they would analyze. And so I worked with this professor because, again, I'm not a big fan of just text. I like to have a little something to look at. And we took these case studies, and through the power of artificial intelligence, I was able to generate not only a video for one of the case studies, but graphics that were fine-tuned to visually illustrate what was going on in that case study. And so we're going to look at the end of the semester, did that make a difference in how their students acquired the knowledge? Did it make a difference on their engagement in the class? But it's those kind of things, how we can take our existing materials and then use the power of artificial intelligence to supplement, to enhance. It is going to be a really powerful session, and I hope that everybody comes around and attends that one, because we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to explore AI together, and we'll have those important conversations that we can take back to our classrooms and our school systems. The next session is Clicking Heels and Captivating Reels, the magic of video and education. And, I've got a coworker who she enjoys video, but she's kind of averse to video on her own. And that's completely fine. We can be scared to record ourselves. We can be scared of being on camera, but this session is really designed to put those fears at ease. Let us all incorporate video strategically in our classes, even if you don't want to be on the camera. I'm going to show you some tools that you can use to easily integrate video into your classes, and we're going to explore why that might be a good possibility for your class. We'll look at some of the literature behind it and why video may be a good solution for you to incorporate into your learning design. So that one's going to be a really fun one. So if you're coming to that, be prepared to make some videos with me. And we're going to explore the power of video through that storytelling lens. Then we're going to have the Technicolor Classroom, Enhancing Learning with Microsoft Tools. I have been a Microsoft user for years. Ever since I was in our K through 12 space, we were a Microsoft district. I could not use anything other than Microsoft. And so as such, I became pretty proficient in the Microsoft tools. And I know a lot of organizations, a lot of school systems, you're either Google or you're Microsoft. And there are so many tools in the Microsoft ecosystem that so many of us have access to, but we don't use it because we're unfamiliar. And so this session is kind of designed when Dorothy opened up her farmhouse and looked out into the land of Oz. It was in Technicolor for the first time. We're going to open up the curtain behind the Microsoft tools, and we're going to see what's available, what can we use, and how can we thoughtfully integrate these tools into our existing practices to really leverage the power of technology and to incorporate 21st century learning design skills. And then we're going to talk about Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore, teaching Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And this one is going to be a very collaborative environment. I think that at this time, if anybody got up in front of you and said, I know how to teach Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I'd be a little suspicious, because we are still evolving as a society. We're looking at these future generation of children that are coming into our classrooms. And so this is going to be a thoughtful dive into those learners. Who are they? What are they experiencing in their lives that we can either incorporate or accommodate in our existing practices? And it will begin that conversation of advancement. We have AI coming out. We've got virtual reality. We have social media. We have a world that is significantly different than a world we had 10, 20 years ago. And so this will be an open dialogue conversation of an analysis of our students, but also a collaborative effort in how we can best attempt to reach them based on their unique characteristics. So I'm very excited about this one. Please come to all of the sessions, but this would be a really collaborative experience for everybody to be able to leave with some real strategies when it comes to our changing student demographics. And then there is no place like Canva, visual design and storytelling in the classroom. I've already said this, Canva is my go-to for most things that I use because it is that powerful tool. If you are not familiar, Canva is actually completely free for K through 12 students and teachers. So it is that free tool that you can also use to create things like worksheets or videos or slide decks. Every slide deck for my lectures I have in Canva, so I don't have to worry about losing the file. It's right there. I can edit and we can have a fun time collaborating and communicating. Canva is a really powerful tool, and it's powerful because it can allow us to increase the visual design and storytelling in our classrooms. And so along this vein of walking through Dorothy's journey, this is going to really teach people or expose people to how we can use this type of technology to reinvent how we're doing things in the classroom, to make our instructional materials more representative, more inclusive, more engaging, more relevant. Because it is that free tool, I hope that everybody shows up to that one and you can leave with not only that platform you can use, but a new passion for creating that customizable, applicable, relevant, accessible, inclusive classroom materials for your learners. And so those are the sessions that are coming to NCCE 24. I am so excited to present them with everybody. Like I said, they're going to be unique experiences all through the lens of storytelling. And so if any of those interest you, please make sure to connect with me, check them off on the schedule, come by and be a part of that conversation. I really look forward to seeing everybody there. But I have some tips. About if you're attending NCCE 24. Maybe this is your first conference, maybe this is your 15th. I've got some tips that I found helpful. You can take them or leave them, but I'm going to offer them up to you nonetheless. So tip number 1, prepare for the journey. Dorothy did not just set up down the yellow brick road without some things in her basket. She had Toto. I'm sure she had some apples or something in her little wicker basket. We want to be prepared for the unknown as much as we can. So your first step should be to scan the QR code on your screen or head to the NCCE 24 conference website and check out all of the amazing sessions that are going to be happening. Take a look at what's possible. Take a look at what is being offered and start thinking about what is going to best fit into your needs as an educator. How can you fill your own basket while you're at NCCE? Tip number 2, flex your brain. Plan sessions that are going to expand your skills or broaden your perspectives. You don't have to know absolutely everything about any session. Maybe you are interested in Minecraft, but you've never used it in your classroom. Go to a Minecraft session and learn how it's used from others. Maybe you can make connections and find ways to upskill your own skills. If you're interested in esports or anything else that may have piqued your interest over the years that you've not ever had exposure to, go to a session. You're not going to be tested. I don't think anybody's testing you in your sessions. And if they do, say, I exempt myself. No one is going to judge anybody. This is a place for learning. And so if you feel like you may not belong in a certain space, I want you to get that thought out of your mind. You can go to whatever you want to. So think about some sessions that may expand those skills or broaden your perspective as you're looking at that list. Flex that brain. And then I also want you to have courage. And when I mean that, I want you to make connections while you're at NCCE 24. I want you to participate fully and be courageous with your voice. I will say that as somebody who is, you may not believe me or not, but I'm actually incredibly introverted. If people know me in my personal life, I understand what it can be like going to a big conference with lots of people you may not know, and you have that level of discomfort. I want you to acknowledge that discomfort, but just tell your brain that everybody at NCCE 24 is going to welcome you with arms wide open. I have never been in a space with people from NCCE that I have not immediately felt as if we were part of the same community. There are going to be so many connections to be made. So take your time, introduce yourself, tell others what you teach, tell others what you're passionate about, get social media handles, get emails if you would like, but use this time to really be courageous and reach out to others and build that community at NCCE 24 or any conference that you attend to. Also be courageous with your voice. No one educator is going to have all the answers. No one student is going to do well on every intervention. Everybody has something to contribute. And I learned so much just from hearing others. I've learned so much from Tammy over the years, just listening to her speak. And I've learned so much from other NCCE specialists every time I listen to one of my cohort members or my friends or my peers. I always take something away from that. And I encourage you to do the same. Go there, share your passions, be courageous, make connections, ask questions, and just understand that we are all part of the same journey. And we are all there to share our love and passion for innovative exploration of technology and education. So have courage, have brains, use your heart, share your passion fully at NCCE 24. You can be, I give you full permission to wear custom t-shirts and wear your swag that you've gotten from any of the ed tech companies. Go all out, be yourself, have heart, share your passion fully. I don't know that there are many spaces that people would understand the love that we all have as an educator community for what we do unless you're in it. And you're going to be at a conference center full of people who understand why you do what you do. And so being in that safe space and being in a space where all are welcome, all are included, and you can share your own unique experiences, it's so powerful. So take advantage of that. Have heart, share your passion fully, and learn about the passions others have for teaching and learning. And my last tip for attending is that there is no place like home. No matter what you do at NCCE 24, I want you to take what you learn and I want you to take it back to your school peers. It means nothing to attend a conference and we'll get this knowledge and these experiences, but I'm just going to keep it to myself in my classroom for just the benefit of my students. I think that's the wrong message. We need to share with our community members, share with your teacher next door some of the strategies that you learned at NCCE 24, share some of the resources. Maybe you can plan on bringing your friend next year for NCCE 25. Share what you know, share your passion, because in sharing that, you are just expanding the passion and the purpose of your peers. So take what you learn and take it back to your school peers and change the way things are going in your school systems. Now, if you're presenting, all of that still applies to you, but you've got an extra layer of things you need to account for. So I thought I would tell you some tips for presenting. This is from John's world. If it doesn't resonate, that's fine. But my tip number one, I want you to outline and script your presentation. And this is just good practice for anything that we're doing. Now, full disclaimer, I am really bad at the scripting part. I'm good at the outlining part, but we're all individual people. We all work differently. I think everybody should have that outline so you know what's coming next. You're not surprised. You can plan accordingly, and then you're just not as stressed out when you're presenting in front of your peers. And script, if that helps you, even with key points, just saying this part, I'm going to talk about X, Y, and Z. It will really help calm your nerves and help you be as prepared as you possibly can be for your presentation. I also encourage you to provide your own perspective in your sessions. We all can learn from one another. We can go on YouTube and we can learn about different theories and different tools. But NCCE 24 is about more than that. It's about learning those things within the framework of perspective. It is about how did this teacher from this school in this city, how do they really do this with their very real students? And so I encourage you to provide your perspective in your sessions, because not only does it make it real for your participants because they know that you have done what you're talking about, but it helps, again, make more connections between what you are saying and what they are hearing. So we want everybody to leave with something. We want to expand that collective knowledge. So share your own perspective. I also want you to focus on the big picture when it comes to why we do what we do. What is our why? Focus on the students, focus on our outcomes, making the best educational environments we can for our teachers and for our learners, making the most engaging learning experiences we can. Focus on our why during the entire event, and it will never lead you astray. I also want you to plan for the unexpected. As somebody who has to help other people who are having some technical issues, some glitches, there is no such thing as technology that works perfectly all the time. And it's not even something that maybe you did. Maybe the internet is being a little weird. Maybe there's your password reset. Or like right before my session tonight, I realized that I had reset my computer and I had to re-enable permissions. You have to plan for the unexpected. But if you have a plan, if you know, okay, this is what I can do as a backup, this is what I can do if this doesn't work. If you've just thought about that and you've got that in your mind, it throws you for less of a loop when it actually happens. You know, heaven forbid, we don't want that to happen. But again, plan for the unexpected. And then the last one, you need to have fun. You need to have fun and you need to learn and you need to put yourself out there. Because at the end of the day, we are all so passionate about what we do, but we also love what we do because it can be incredibly fun. It can be really joyous to be able to play such a strong part in somebody's learning journey, to know that when they came to you, they were one person, and when they're leaving you, they are a different person. And that is the most fun job I can think of. So when you're at the conference, I want you to have fun, put yourself out there, meet new people, think new thoughts, and really make the most of your time at NCCE 24. Now, I'm going to pause right here because Tammy, I believe we had talked earlier. Did you have any perspectives or anything that you would tell some of our friends that are listening about maybe what they should be considering when they are attending NCCE 24, or your tips?
Yeah, well, you covered almost everything, which was perfect. But to carry on with your metaphor, when Dorothy gets to the Emerald City, she's greeted by all these ambassadors, Lollipop Guild, right? So be sure you go to the exhibitors hall and talk to the exhibitors. It's amazing the conversations you can have and the things that you can find out if you just open yourself up and actually talk to them. You'll find out some great things. They might have something free that you can use, or they might have a perspective or a person that'll be a great contact. So be sure you get to the exhibitors hall and meet. Well, I don't know. The Lollipop Guild won't be there, but my kids will. Right?
We may have to find a booth and then just dress them up for them and say, here you go, you're the lot. But that is such a good point. Yeah, that's such a good point, because it's going to go by so quickly. When you're there, you wake up and then you get your breakfast and then you're like, my session's here. So these are just some things to consider. But that exhibitor hall, I have gotten some nice things from an exhibitor hall in my day, and it's nice to.
Yeah, I find it super important to stop and talk. I used to just walk through and like, what are the free things? But stop and talk. It's all about, like Dr. Brad Johnson says, it's relationships before rigor. So make those relationships, make those connections. Dr. John, Holly had a question. Are there any sessions you are excited to attend or that you might have your eyes on?
I have been exploring the concept of esports. I know of it, I know what it is, but I just haven't had this exposure of how people are doing that in their own spaces currently. And so I'm actually kind of excited about some esports. There was some I believe there was a session on neural networks in the brain. I forget what it was called, but it really just piqued my interest because I want to know that's kind of like, I want to say dorky, but to me it's dorky because like that is the foundation of what we do. Yeah. And so being able to hear from an expert about those things to expand my own knowledge, I'm so excited.
And the other thing with NCCE is you've got people who are actually doing these things. So you get this perspective of someone who can say, here are the pitfalls that might happen, or here are the resources that you might use. One year at NCCE, we had high schoolers that were on a big screen, and they were playing a multiple player game collaboratively in these magnificent seats, which I want one badly. But to be able to watch the student engagement and how they collaborated and worked with each other, and right away, this is going to be successful in a classroom.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like nobody has all the right answers. And I always like, whenever I hear that really good idea that somebody has, part of me is like, why didn't I think of that? But then I'm like, thank God you thought about that, because now I'm thinking about that. We're not all going to have the right answers. And some of us just have a different way of looking at the world that makes our products just different. And it's so exciting. So for me, I'm definitely putting the stuff on my list that I have little to no experience in, because I want to expand that. I want to learn from others.
It's going to be a great time. And there's still time to register. It's right there on the screen, ncce.org/conference 2024. You can still go in and register. And I don't know, when does registration close? Do you know, Dr. John?
I don't. I know that the early bird, I believe, just stopped. So there's still time. There's still some phases. So
Sweet.
But get
And
there quick.
Great keynote speakers and great half sessions or half day conferences before the conference. Right. So just all kinds of exciting things and some evening activities usually as well.
Absolutely. Well, I've heard rumors, but I don't know if they're real. But if the rumors I've heard about some of those nighttime activities, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a joyous time to be in Seattle. And we're just going to really get together, learn. We're going to laugh. It's going to be an amazing experience for everybody. So I hope that you can come to that, everybody, please.
Oh, it'll be wonderful. You'll be over the rainbow after you attend.
There you go. You're definitely leaving a theme if you come to my sessions. So come on.
Lord, yeah, I'm looking for my ruby red slippers, man.
I'm telling you.
Make them in size 12.
Well, I do have a little surprise. I was going to take just a moment, if I could.
Please. I heard there was some rumors.
So, yes. So I recently thought, I know a lot through just my work at NCCE in the K through 12 space in higher education. I have just had so much exposure to so many different thoughts and ideas. And so I said, John, you need to stop just keeping it in your brain. You need to share it with others. And so I am very happy. This is my first time announcing this to anybody, but I am very happy that I do have a new book that is out on Amazon now. It is called ID LXD Mastering the Art and Science of Learning Design. And while it is geared towards instructional learning experience designers, what I do want to say is that all teachers incorporate these skills. There is information about different theories that you could use when you're designing learning experiences. There is a toolbox of every single technology tool that I could think of that I have used in my learning design there for you to explore. There's information on accessibility and inclusivity when we're designing learning experiences for others. So if you're interested, I do encourage you. It's on Amazon. You can just search for that and let me know how you like it. But I'm so thankful for the opportunity to not only come and talk about NCCE 24, but to also be able to share this new work that I'm so proud of.
This is so exciting. And look, this is the quality of people we have at NCCE. Not only are you a featured speaker, but you're a published author who's a featured speaker. Wow, this is so exciting. Are you going to bring any copies for sale that you're going to autograph for people?
You know, I haven't gotten that far, but that might be a good idea, right? So maybe come to the sessions. Maybe we'll have some giveaways that we could give away if you are interested in the copy of this. So let me know. Come to the sessions, have fun, and if you want to check it out more, again, it is again on Amazon.
On Amazon. So go on to Amazon. I think you can search by author, right? Dr. John L. Pauls.
Yep. So you can just put Dr. John L. Pauls and it'll pop up.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. We're so excited for you. Your sessions sound amazing. Everyone's saying your titles are fire. They are, but the sessions are going to be twice that or 3 or 4 times because you're such a marvelous and generous presenter. We're so thankful that you joined us today on Live from NCCE. Dr. John, thank you for your time and your gift of your talent.
Thank you so much, everybody. Go register for NCCE 24 and tune in next month for the next Live from NCCE.
Yep, you'll be hearing about the first timers. We'll be helping them get ready for it as well. So everybody, thank you for being here tonight. And as Dr. John says, see you next month on Live from NCCE.
Bye.